Hi, I'm Ricardo for Don Ricardo Foods once again, and now we're to the mixing portion of the tequila lime fajita mix. And I've got 2 limes already cut them in order to save some time. We're gonna go ahead and juice these real quick. And while I juice these, I'm just talking a little bit more about some of the ideas that come about. In the red sauce mix, I remember mentioning that you can cook the veggies a little before, add them a little after, or all at the same time. Well, here with the tequila lime fajita mix, I'm gonna decide to go ahead and put some of the mix, once it's mixed, into the bag of veggies, and then the rest into the chicken, because the idea here is that we're going to go ahead and caramelize, kind of cook these a little bit longer before we add the chicken for the veggies, but we also want to put some of the mix in the veggies so that they get some of that delicious flavor too. And that's why I've separated in two bags. Now, if you don't use bags, you use containers, you can use separate containers, but as I mentioned and it says on the package, using a bag is better. You can push some of the air out, and now you have more of your meat and veggies submerged and sucking in the juices, and it's kind of marinating, so to speak. And you can do this overnight. I suggest at least a couple hours before. If not, you're pressed for time and it's the last minute thing. It may not sink as deep, but the flavor will still be there. It's just not going to get deep into the meat and such. So here we go. We have our 2 limes juiced. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into our bag of mix. And 2 limes produces a decent amount of, I think that was just under 3 ounces. And then we're going to go ahead and get a shot of tequila. Pour it in. Now we're going to go ahead and seal it, and that's why I've chose to use the packaging I do, so you can mix in the same bag the mix is in. It's a little bit easier, a little bit less mess, less dishes, I guess you could say, so to speak. And shake it for about 15 seconds. I never really time myself. You might want to, it's up to you, but I'd say that's about 15 seconds right there. One thing we can do is at the bottom there, it's a little clear. You can go ahead and check and see that there's no clumping, no dry ingredients. It's mixed, it's ready to go. So what we're gonna do now, as I mentioned before, I got my veggies in one bag. I'll do a little bit different this time. Sometimes I do mix everything in one, and that's allowed. And I'm going to go ahead and pour, I'd say about 1/3 of this in there. You don't have to measure 1/3 exactly. Get some of that mixed in there. You can see it towards the bottom. Put that off to the side. And we're going to put the rest in the chicken. Okay, not really much of anything left in there. That's why I say shake it when you pre-do this beforehand. Shake it one more time before you pour it to make sure all the heavy ingredients come up and out. Then we're going to go ahead and seal the bag. Then we're going to move it around. Move it around a bit. Visually inspect that you're actually getting the mix and surrounding and getting between all the chicken that you cut up and prepped. Okay, I'll finish that in order to save time and take the air out. So what you can do when we do get to that point, just a quick explanation, and I'll finish it later. You can open one end. After you're done, make sure it's thoroughly mixed. Push as much of the air out as you can, reseal it, and then sit it. And halfway through your sitting time, whether it's overnight or a couple hours, whichever you choose, turn it over so that we see the mix falls down, and because gravity will do that. And then you're making sure that it's getting all the chicken mixed as possible. Same thing with the veggies, if that's what you're going to choose to do, to cook them separately. Let's get that mix around the veggies. Make sure it mixes very well. And the same idea, and again, I'll finish this in order to save some time. You'll do the same thing, open one end, push some of the air out so that you have as little air as possible. And same idea, halfway through your time for marinating, flip it over, make sure it mixes well. And again, the idea behind that is to make sure that you get flavor throughout all your ingredients. So We're going to move on to the cooking portion next, later when this stuff is ready. But thanks for visiting DonRicardoFoods.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, as I always say, please visit DonRicardoFoods.com for some great products and lots of tips on cooking and instructions and such. Thank you. Bye.